All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're out in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
All right. Welcome again, Monday night. It is time for Bring It. Welcome, everybody, to the ASAP Sports Network. I am your host, Big Dog. With me is my crew. We got Ray. Of course, Ray's back. What's up, Ray?
What's up? How y'all doing today? Glad to be back.
Glad to have you here. And, of course, we got to have the coach bringing it every Monday night. What's up, Coach?
What's up, baby? What's up?
All right, we're going to talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a little bit. So
it's all good.
Be ready for that. And we got the young buck. We got the young boy, this young up and coming superstar on the network. We got Landon. What's up, Landon?
What's going on, guys? I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Landon's actually going to be filling in for me next week, hosting the show because I got to take my daughter to go see some colleges. So Landon's going to be holding it down for us. I want him to get a little peek of what we do here over at Bring It. So we're definitely happy he's here. First thing we're going to do, as we always do, our Monday night preview. We've got the Rams at the 49ers tonight. Rams are favored by 4. Rams have had a very interesting week, actually interesting 2 weeks with the trade deadline. They picked up Von Miller. Then all of a sudden they signed OBJ on the same day that Robert Woods tears an ACL in practice of all places. These practice injuries are just crushing sometimes. So, so who knows? They're going to throw an OBJ into the mix tonight, so it's going to be really interesting to see how they play against San Francisco, who still, no matter what their record says, they still can run the ball. And Dabo's the receiver, I can't remember his name, but he's hot, up and coming young receiver. So they're going to definitely bring it to the Rams. So let's just get a little take on what's going to happen tonight. We'll start with you, Ray. So just give us a little preview of what you think is going to happen tonight.
Well, if you look at this game, you got all the pieces. I mean, you got OBJ now at wide receiver. We're going to see what he can do. We know what he did in Cleveland up to this point. Now he's got a little bit, probably a little bit better a quarterback, and he can spread the ball around for him and gives a defense. But for the 49ers, they allowed almost 500 yards rushing over the last 3 games. So if they get the rushing game going, then that's going to open up that play action pass for the Rams. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at if the 49ers can contain the running attack.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Rams have a decent running game at this point. Henderson has definitely been balling out, But like, Coach, if you get a new player like OBJ with his skill set, he's only been in camp 4 days, but they've had to just throw him in the mix. So like, what kind of packages do you put in there for him to get him acclimated with a Pro Bowl quarterback like a Matt Stafford?
Just simple, easy stuff. He'd probably run some jet sweeps. He'd probably throw some screens, just things that he's good at. Where it's very, very simple. I think they go just for the simple fact having him because they need him to play. It's gonna be a very, very old school. I'm gonna run the ball, play action, like Ray said. So he gets the drags across. Pretty much, it's gonna be easy for him. They're gonna dumb it down for him and make it. And then if he got a question, they'll tell him. They'll say, "Hey, you got this. Hey, you run this." So
it almost be like the schoolyard where you kind of drawing on the grass. You go this way, right?
Yeah. So it won't be hard for him. He's just gonna just be an athlete. Do what you do.
Exactly, and they're probably going to have him return a punt or two because, as we all remember, when he first came up in the league, he was returning punts and he was fierce in special teams. Now, Landon, I want to go to you on the other side with San Francisco. It was Deebo Samuel I was talking about. And George Kittle's coming back tonight, so Kittle's going to be in the lineup. So from the San Francisco side of the ball, what do you see their game plan being at?
See, San Francisco, they're an interesting team, right? Because they can come out one week and put up 40 points. They can come out the next and put up 10. That you really don't know what they're going to do, right? but they're going against a good defense in the Rams, right? We got Aaron Donald, we got Jalen Ramsey, and Von Miller is active, and that's scary on that defense. And Jimmy G is going to be in most of the plays as far as I'm concerned, right? So he's not very good at coming out of the pocket and throwing. The Rams, if you're the Rams, you need to apply pressure on this offense. Now, sure, you've got Debo and George Kittle. The key to success for this 49ers offense, in my opinion, is going to utilize Elijah Mitchell out of the backfield. You're going to want to ease that pass rush off a little bit, because if you run a pass rush on a run with a guy like Elijah Mitchell, he's going to get out. So if you're the 49ers, you need to work the run, but don't get too pass heavy. That's the thing here. If you're the 49ers and you get too pass heavy, that just leads for mistakes. It leads for guys like Jalen Ramsey to execute what he does best, and Von Miller as well. You know, he can break off that edge and he can put pressure. Now, we know going into this, Von Miller's not 100% healthy. That ankle's still bothering him from week, 7, I believe, against the Browns when he hurt his ankle. So
Yeah.
that's going to be a big thing to watch, I think. I think they're rushing him. If it's up to me, you sit him this week. But, you know, it's a big game. You know, primetime football, a division rival. So it's going to be interesting to see. But like I said, pound the run game. Don't get too, don't overdo the pass. I've watched a little bit of 49ers this year, and I've seen a lot of depending on Debo Samuel. And that's something you're not going to want to do. Now that George Kittle's back, we might not see that as much. But, you know, that's going to be the key is handing the ball off a lot tonight.
Right. And we've talked about on this show before how the tight end is a quarterback's best friend. And when you have an all-pro quarterback, all-pro tight end like a George Kittle, that will definitely help Jimmy G out a lot. All right, so let's put our predictions in. So, Coach, give us a prediction for tonight.
Rams. I'm not picking points. I always lose the points. I don't care about the points. Rams. Rams going to win.
All right, Ray, what do you got tonight? You're muted.
Well, I had my wife come up, so yeah. I have Rams by 10.
Rams by 10. All right, Landon, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go Rams by 10 plus 2. I don't think it'll be close.
Yeah, I do think they're going to cover the 4 tonight. The Rams are definitely they're pissed that they lost last week to Tennessee in prime time. They've had an extra day to think about it, and I definitely think they're going to take it to San Francisco tonight for sure. All right, so we all on the Rams tonight. We got the -4. All right, so that's the official bring it pick for the week. All right. Week 10, interesting week. A lot of different things happened. Let's start with the Green Bay Seattle game. Rodgers comes back from COVID, gets activated basically 24 hours before the game, comes out and just does Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's like he doesn't need to practice. He just basically shows up, he plays. You can see how the team responds to him, how it's such a difference between him and the backup Jordan Love. Seattle fans should definitely be concerned. They look just pitiful last night. People are saying that they rushed Russell Wilson back. So, Coach, what did you see on the field? Let's start with the Green Bay side. What did you see on the field from them? Obviously, we saw a more fluid offense, but what did you see with Rodgers back in the lineup?
Well, just you see what you see. I think they have a great game plan. Aaron Rodgers is not the old Aaron Rodgers. He only has to do just a little bit. So a lot of things that he does is they run the ball. They run the ball and let those screens. I mean, that's one of the biggest things. If the running game is going good, then now he can try hit that drag across the middle to Devontae Adams. But like I said, it's nothing. They don't do anything special. It's not like, all right, Aaron, we need you to go throw 40 or 50 balls. Instead, let's keep it at 25. Let's keep it at 30. Let's make sure we run for 100 yards rushing.
Right, and now Green Bay's got that. Well, they had the double-headed back between Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Aaron Jones is now out for a week to 2 weeks. He's got a sprained knee. So, Ray, on the Seattle side of the ball, and what's up to everybody who's been signing in and saying hello? What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Ray, on the Seattle side of the ball, I mean, that Seattle offensive line, I mean, it's terrible. I mean, Russell's running for his life out there.
Yeah, they have no continuity on that offensive line. I mean, that offensive line has done completed over the time Russell Wilson been there. I don't know what Pete Carroll is doing to address it. I think it's time for Pete Carroll probably on his way out here soon. So, I mean, because right now Seattle is just playing Seattle mediocre football. It's going back in the 80 days right now. Mm-hmm. You got a good quarterback and you got no other pieces except for Wagner on the defensive side. So, I mean, you completed your defense over the last 2 or 3 years, got rid of your best corners and stuff like that. So, if you look at the way this is going on here for Russell Wilson, I mean, Seattle's just gone from being up there down to being down to the bottom. If they don't get the same change around, the offensive line needs some work. He's like you say, he's running for life, and I think they rushed him back too early too, because he didn't look like Russell Wilson out there. And if you're running for your life, he's not going to look like Russell Wilson. He could get hurt again.
Oh, for sure, for sure. There was talk this week that and I heard a couple rumors that the networks actually put pressure on both teams to make sure those quarterbacks were playing this week because of the debacle of the Kansas City Green Bay game last week. I read 2 articles that the networks, because of all the money, hey, we're paying this money to you guys. You guys are giving us it would have been Geno Smith versus Jordan Love. I mean, you could have paid me to watch that. It's crazy. So Landon, it's like there's been all this talk about, Rodgers, what he went through when he comes back, and then with Russell Wilson coming back too early. I mean, in the offseason, what do you see for both these quarterbacks in the offseason? I want to talk about that a little bit with everybody. I mean, Rodgers is going to be a free agent. Wilson's got another year left on his contract, but there's been all this trade talk throughout the offseason this past year. What do you see for both these quarterbacks in the offseason?
For Aaron Rodgers, I think he's done in Green Bay after this. I think this is definitely the last dance. I don't think he was joking about that when he said that. I think, he's going to go out. He's going to test free agency. Where he's going to go, I don't know yet. That's a conversation for a different day. But I think Rodgers is done in Green Bay. I think they'll have one good run. We're going to talk about that later, though, as far as the Super Bowl goes. And then for Russell Wilson, I think he's definitely gone after the season. I think he's going to demand a trade because of the offensive line struggles that we were talking about. He has 2 seconds in the pocket on a good play. So I don't think there's any way that he's in Seattle next year. If he is, I would be shocked. I think it'll either be a trade kind of thing, but what are you going to get for him, right? He's going up there in age. He's still performing, but he's going up there in age. I think both of these guys find new homes this offseason.
Interesting. Well, Russell Wilson's going to is 32. He's 32 right now, so he's not that old, and obviously with Cam Newton coming back yesterday, we'll talk about Cam in a little bit, proven at age. But Coach, I mean, he'd be giving up receivers of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, who is one of the best set of receivers in the league. Even so, how can you walk away from guys who can catch the ball like that?
I mean, but the thing is, they're just deep routes. They don't run routes. If you watched last night, yesterday during the game, every ball was vertical. It was 10, 14 plus yards. They don't run routes. So you have to have a better offensive line. You need to have a running game just to utilize what you got as receivers who you get. I don't agree with Landon. I think he's gonna stay there because they're not gonna give him up unless you give the boatload. You got to give the boat because if Deshaun is asking for 2 first rounds, 2 second rounds, then guess what? You better get 3. At least you can say he's a proven Super Bowl winner, which he won a Super Bowl. And I think Aaron Rodgers, man, honestly, truthfully, I think he's going to stay there. If Green Bay wants him back, I truly believe he's going to stay there. Aaron Rodgers is a big crybaby. He whines, he pouts, he gets what he wants. And guess what? And that's what they pretty much gave him everything he asked for. Hell, my man had a fake COVID test. This whole time he was like, I had the shot. And then guess what? Green Bay said, you know what, Aaron? We got you. We'll take this $400,000. It's nothing. So, and the matter of fact, that's probably why they sharing some of the what's the name? The stocks. They're like, hey, we're gonna get this $400,000 back. So I truly, I think they both gonna stay there. More so Wilson because of his contract, and he can't go anywhere because you're on the contract. And I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna look. He's gonna look around because who are you gonna go? Carolina, Denver. Carolina, Denver. That's not
Houston.
He's not going to Houston.
New York.
He's not going to New York.
Washington.
He wouldn't. No.
Philadelphia.
If you look at what they have,
Miami.
The only 2 teams is Carolina and Denver that has an opportunity. I wouldn't even because the rest of them they ain't even make the playoffs. At least you can say Carolina is battling. They had 4 quarterbacks, 3 quarterbacks so far this year.
Right.
Denver has the receivers, the parts to do something. and that let him do whatever he wants to call him. But other than that, he'll stay. I think he's gonna stay right back in Green Bay.
I mean, I think Denver and Washington are a quarterback away though. So
Washington? No,
you don't think Washington's a quarterback away?
no.
I don't know. That defense has been underwhelming. I will give you that.
No.
But hey, I mean,
that defense looked good yesterday. That's for
they
sure.
did look good yesterday. How about it, Coach? They did look.
They
good
did look
yesterday,
good. They did look good. But I'm not betting my money. I won't bet. I won't bet the house on Washington. Even if they had Aaron Rodgers, I still, because what you got to realize, Aaron Rodgers is not the Aaron Rodgers of old. You go look at
he's playing good.
No. Go watch last game. He threw out routes, he throws screens, and he throws the drag across the middle. Like, he's not doing anything special. They're running for 150 yards. It's not like he's dropping back 40 times and making throws.
Oh, true. But, remember Peyton Manning's last year with Denver. He wasn't throwing those kind of deep balls either.
No, of course.
Underneath. So, yeah, I mean, it could be interesting, So, Ray, where are you at with this? Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. Where are you at with this?
Well, I think Russell Wilson probably on his way out of Seattle, unless he demands his offensive line gets stronger. If his offensive line don't get stronger, you can see Russell Wilson out because Russell Wilson's running for his life. He's getting injured. Who wants to be behind that line right now? You don't know how many seconds you're going to have to throw the ball. Your minimum seconds you have to throw the ball is between 3 to 4 seconds. He's getting probably about 2 to 2.5, maybe 1 at the most, unless he's rolling out and stuff like that. So, to me, Russell Wilson could be on his way out of Seattle along with Pete Carroll. It's just going to be – it's just the facts. And if you look at Aaron Rodgers, now, 3 things has happened to Green Bay right now. Green Bay just announced they're going to sell 300,000 shares at $300 starting Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Central Time to fans. So if you want to buy a stock in there in the thing, you got $300. You can go get your at least one stock in the Green Bay team. And if they're selling stock, they got a plan. They're probably going to keep Aaron Rodgers there. So, I mean, because if you don't have Aaron Rodgers there, to be the focal point of their sales. But then again, you only got a regular season guy. He only won 1 Super Bowl, and playoffs he's been getting out. So, I mean, go ahead, Coach.
And to piggyback on it, people criticize Jordan Love. He practiced Friday without the 2 starting receivers. Like, it wasn't like he had it on Tuesday and say, hey, you're the starting quarterback. It happened Friday. And by that time, you're pretty much wrapping up everything. And then your receivers just came back that afternoon. So, like, it wasn't – I can't give him that one game and say, oh, he's terrible. Because even if they do stick with Green Bay, that money that Aaron Rodgers done ate up, man, you could get another lineman. You can get some defensive players. Like, you could spend that money for him. Because he's an athletic quarterback because you can run a lot of things with him.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's true. It's true, right? It's and the whole thing is really funny because these quarterbacks. I mean, that they're paid so much money, and the franchises are so dependent on it. I mean, it's a quarterback-driven league as we're all learning. They say defense wins championships, but the bottom line is it's the quarterback nowadays. So. Even when the guys are getting to their mid-30s, late 30s, I mean, Tom Brady has proven, which we'll go to next, that, you take care of yourself, you can play to your mid-40s. I mean, hell, the way, physically Brady could probably play till he's 50, but, who knows? It's going to be an interesting offseason for both teams and both players. And the rest of the season with Green Bay, I think if Green Bay wins a ring this year, if they win the championship, Aaron's done. Because Aaron...
You think he retire?
No, but he's done with Green Bay. Because he say, I won you 2 championships, I've got nothing else to prove here. I'm going to go test the market. I think
they'll make it to the NFC Championship, and then
like they always do. They'll probably win the NFC Championship.
I don't think they'll make it to the championship.
I think they're second round. They're second round and you out.
I think Tampa beats them. I think the Rams beat them. I think the Cowboys beat them. I don't know, but we'll talk about that. But
it's going to be interesting. All right, let's just talk about the Cowboys for a minute. The Cowboys came back yesterday. They actually showed up. And they actually played well. They beat a team that they're supposed to beat, unlike last week. So, Tony, if you just want to chime in real quick about your Cowboys, you have 1 minute to talk about your Cowboys. So go ahead.
Oh, always. I mean, it was a bounce back game. I'm not going to sit here and say that Dallas, is back as far as competing goes. They Probably shouldn't have lost last week. And then they came back and they just beat a bad Falcons team. I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. If anything, the last couple of weeks has showed us the upsets are everywhere in the NFL any given Sunday. Denver beat Dallas, Miami beat the Ravens, and the team with no name beat Coach's Buccaneers. So I gotta be a little excited about it. I know Coach ain't tripping about it, but I had to throw it out there.
No, definitely. Well, just Tony, one more quick question, and then we're gonna move on. Do you think Prescott just wasn't healthy last week, and that's the reason that they looked as bad as they looked, and he's healthy this week?
I don't know if it was health. I think it was just one of those Dallas kind of got in their own way. We've seen teams that kind of just they start to steamroll. They're on like a 6-game win streak. They beat a Minnesota team that they probably weren't supposed to beat with a backup quarterback that really had never taken a snap at the NFL. So I think Dallas just got a little too cocky going into a Denver game. They figured, they don't have Von Miller. They got Teddy Bridgewater. They're, kind of in a rebuilding year themselves. So, we'll roll over that. We're looking ahead towards next week. We have to face this team. So I think, all honesty, that's what it was. I don't think it was as much as Dak's health as Dallas just got in their own way. All
right, cool. Well, that's the end of the Cowboy segment for today. Thank you, Tony. We'll have more Cowboy talk next week. We'll see what happens. All right. Let's move on to Coach's beloved Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the thing is, people are saying, they lost before their bye week. They lost after their bye week. Is it time to panic? I don't think so at all, because Gronk's out, AB's out. They're not fully stacked. They've got injuries. Guys get hurt during the year. So Coach, I mean, are you on board with that theory that it's injuries right now and they're just kind of holding their place?
I'm not worried about it. Like, my biggest thing is with people, they're gonna lose games. They lost 3 games so far this year. Yeah. A lot of people, when they lose 3 or 4 games, just like the Chiefs. Chiefs lost 4 games, but they're winning the division right now.
Right.
Like everybody it's still early. Like, we're at the halfway mark. So they're gonna make the playoffs. Making the playoffs is not the issue. It's not what the biggest and most important issue for us is. 1 is cleaning up the stupid penalties. Right. 2, getting everybody healthy. Because once AB comes back, now you have a legit route runner. Don't get me wrong, Mike Evans is good, but for what Mike Evans does, he's just a vertical guy. He can't run routes. He's a vertical guy. So that doesn't really fits what Tom Brady is. Then, I mean, you got 3 receivers out and a tight end, 2 tight ends out right now. So for me, they want the Washington football team. They won. Congratulations. It's good. But guess what? When January hits, you're going to be watching Tampa Bay in the playoffs, and you're going to be at the house.
No, and you're absolutely right. And Ray, if you look at yesterday's stats for Tampa, you see where Brady threw the ball. A lot of those balls that would have gone to AB or would go to Gronk. He's got Cameron Brate was the only tight end that seemed to catch a ball yesterday, and the receivers they're not making the plays that an AB would make. So it's pretty evident that his 2 favorite weapons not being there, is affecting the game plan. I mean, it's not Brady's fault that these other guys can't run the routes the way those all pro guys can.
For sure.
Yeah, if you look at it this way too, they didn't get the running game going either. I mean, 11 carries for 47 yards for Fournette, 1 carry for 4 yards for Gino Bernard, and then Brady carried for 1 for 2 yards. They had 53 yards and 13 carries. And the longest run was 8 yards by Fournette in that ball game. They got to get the running game back going too. I mean, you can't solely rely on Tom Brady's arm at his age of over 40 years old. So I mean, you got to get the running game. He's got to have an effective running game. They got to get back to where they were playing when they won the Super Bowl, when the offensive line was blowing the other teams off the ball. They got to get that going back. They pass rushers got to get them back. They got to get some more plays, but they also got to get Grunt healthy too, to make that playoff run too, because I mean, that's his reliable receiver that he trusts in when he gets pressure on. So I mean, too, that's another thing going with this. Are we he's not really showing his age yet, and that's kind of wary too if that's going to start coming to playing these ball games too. But then also Heineke for Washington, if you look at what he did today, this win opened up something on his contract. He gets a big bonus now after beating Tampa Bay. Ooh. So Yeah, he had some kind of in his contract that they win a key game or something that he gets a big payday. So he's got a big payday after that win too. So he had something to play for in that ball game too. So, and then you got if you look at the Washington football team, they had Chase Young. The defense is good for the Washington football team, but the offense was suspect. And then all of a sudden they come out of nowhere and beat Tampa Bay, the defending Super Bowl champions, 29-19. Even though Tampa Bay didn't have all their players, like AD still out, Gronk is still out. So I mean, they're not full-fledged weapons. But I think, like Coach said, Tampa Bay will get better as it keeps going on in the season because that's the way Brady operates. Brady operates from mid-season all the way down because, he's pacing himself in the first half of the season because, his age and stuff like that. But in Tampa Bay, you're going to see him open up some more stuff. And right now, you don't – I think Tampa's really giving people false sense of, they're that good. And all of a sudden now they pick up and then all of a sudden Brady kicks in the second half and next thing you know, they're hosting another Super Bowl championship with Brady there. So, I mean –
and as we've seen this season, yeah, exactly. We've seen the season landing, a lot of different upsets. The NFC is, there's a lot of teams that are still over 500 in contention. So, to me, Tampa's not middle of the pack, but there's definitely, we're going to talk about contenders in general. But in general, this Tampa loss, the press overreacts to it, but, you even as a young football fan, seeing the way Brady's played throughout his career, you can't say like, oh, that's it, he's done, right? He's still going to move forward and still dominate, I would say, right?
Right. We got to remember that last year they were the 5th seed in the playoffs, I believe. Right? They were the 5th seed, and they went on and won it all. You know what I'm saying? So there's no reason to say, well, Brady this, Brady that. He had a bad first quarter. He threw like 2 interceptions in the first quarter. That doesn't happen all the time. Washington dominated Tampa. Okay. The 10-minute drive, that happened. It's whatever. Tampa's defense obviously hasn't been like they were last year this year, but they're still good. They're still top tier. You've got Tom Brady. Whenever Tom Brady's under center, I don't care what team it is, you're a contender. You know what I mean? Especially when you got a team with Mike Evans, with Antonio Brown, with Rob Gronkowski, with Chris Godwin, with all these guys, right? Leonard Fournette's playing really good. Their record, they've lost, 3 games, you said?
Yeah.
There's no reason to panic. No reason to panic at all because, it's Tom Brady. That's all.
Exactly.
That's my answer to that. It's Tom Brady.
They're going to lose 2 more games this year.
Right. And even if they do,
I know
they're
for a
going to
fact
be
they're
right
going to lose
back
2
in
more
that Super Bowl
games.
contention.
And then everybody's going to be like, and then you got to realize everybody's right now, they so hyped on the Rams. Oh my gosh, they got Odell Beckham. Oh my gosh.
Rams are good, man.
But the thing about it is, you got Matthew Stafford. He ain't never won a playoff game.
I'm high
Never
on Matthew
won a
Stafford,
playoff
though.
game.
Well, he also was with the Detroit Lions.
Nope,
So that's
never
unfair.
won. It doesn't matter.
That's unfair.
He never won a playoff game.
That's unfair. That's unfair.
How is it not fair?
Because you're comparing Tom Brady to Matthew Stafford right now, and Tom Brady, who's had these multiple receivers, who has
I'm not even multiple receivers win.
Randy Moss.
Okay. Randy Moss.
Start there. Julian Edelman.
Who else?
Gronk has been with him his whole career.
And Julian Edelman was a 7th-round draft pick, but continue.
That's fine. He was an all-star, all-pro receiver.
I
don't care.
So even right now, you look at the Rams. They look good on paper. Who's playing Madden? I pick them because I know for a fact I got Cup and I got Odell Beckham.
You're not. You don't think the Rams are legit? Is that what you're saying?
They're not. They're not to stay healthy. Because one thing about how they they're never healthy in the playoffs. Who was hurt last year?
Okay.
Right. Okay. Exactly.
Right, but they made the divisional though, and their team has only gotten better since last year, and they made the divisional played close to the Packers in the divisional round matchup. That game was not a blowout.
But how do you say they gotten better?
They've gotten better. They've got an upgraded quarterback. They've got Von Miller, Odell Beckham.
Hold on. Time out. You can't say it's an upgrade until you win the playoff game.
It's an upgrade.
It's an upgrade.
No, it's an upgrade.
It's an upgrade. When was Jared Goff ever the single-handedly top 3 quarterback in the NFL? Never. You can't say that. Right now, Matt Stafford is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, whether you like that or not. They've got the best wide receiver in the NFL in Cooper Kupp right now, whether you like it or not. He is the best playmaker in the NFL right now. Robert Woods, if he was healthy, this team is the best team in the NFL, and it's not even close. I still think they are the best team in the NFL, and they don't have Robert Woods. They added Odell and Robert Woods' replacement. You know, Van Jefferson, is that his name? Van Jefferson? He's been pretty good. He's been pretty good in the slot. And you've got Henderson, running back.
Answer this question.
And you got the best defense in the NFL.
When they played against good teams with the same capability, what did they do? They got slaughtered. Cardinals. They got embarrassed.
Okay,
they had their Super Bowl.
That's one game. That's one game. The Buccaneers got embarrassed yesterday.
They played. But who they lose to? They lost to the Washington football.
Washington. That's worse than the Cardinals lost.
But I mean, can I ask you this?
And the Titans lost combined.
Hold on, can I ask you this?
Yeah, come on, I'm ready.
How many starters are out for Tampa Bay?
How many starters were out? Starters. Gronk, Antonio Brown. Off the top of my head, that's all I got. What you got for me?
The secondary.
That's secondary. When they're healthy, they aren't elite. Come on now.
They're top 5. It was the top 5 defense last year. How do you not say that?
Right. Okay. That's fine.
Hold on. And then last time I checked, if you look in the playoffs, how many interceptions they got? They picked off and they got to pick almost every game because they got it against the Saints.
You're living in the past, bro. We're right now.
Who's living in the past?
You're talking about last year's playoff. We're talking about right now. I'm telling you that the Rams team is much improved and they're ready.
How?
They're ready to make.
You're saying that they're much improved because they won because they blew out the Texans because they blew out these teams.
No,
but at the end of the day, so Landon, we can go back and forth.
Bro, listen, I got one more thing to say. They're much improved, and listen, they're much improved because Matthew Stafford is leading the league right now. And fact check me out here. Listen, QBR, pass yards. I believe he's in top 3 for touchdowns. You see what I'm saying? Tom didn't have much until what? But I agree. Yeah, exactly what they said. Listen, Matthew Stafford was in Detroit. You cannot say anything about playoff wins. You cannot say that. That's listen.
So hold on, time out. So what you're telling me is when Matthew Stafford was with Detroit, he had the hell of a game in the playoffs.
That's fine, and they lost, and you're going to blame it on him?
No, I'm asking you. So did Matthew Stafford had a hell of a game in every playoff game? Like what? You making it seem like he was all world in the playoffs.
I didn't say that at all, but he was with the Detroit Lions.
It doesn't matter.
A quarterback has to have a good offensive line to help.
We keep saying you're living off of the name. They made the playoffs.
I'm not living off the name. Look at the stats.
So, Landon, let me ask you a question. If you make the playoffs, you're not considered a good team?
Man, listen, I'm talking right now. You're talking about, okay.
You said the Detroit Lions.
Bro. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Listen, that's facts. That's facts. Tom Brady played with the New England Patriots. Matt Stafford played for the Detroit Lions. If you really want to talk about the past, let's talk about the past.
Come on. If you want to talk about New England Patriots, you can ask Ray. They'll tell you New England Patriots wasn't the New England Patriots until Tom Brady came and won the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
There were some nobodies.
Okay.
There were nobodies.
It's Tom Brady.
Bill never had a winning season until he was with Tom Brady.
It's Tom Brady. I'm not saying Tom Brady's a better quarterback than Matt Stafford. I'm saying that the Rams are a better team than the Buccaneers, and you hate to think that because you're a Buccaneers fan.
No,
it's the truth. Live up to it. It's the truth.
It's not that I don't live up to it. We sit here and you sit there and you say, "Oh, they're a better team." Why? Oh, they got Odell Beckham. Oh, that's a good name.
That's not what I said.
When has Odell Beckham done something for 1,000 yards? Oh, they got
like three years in a row with the Giants.
Oh my God! And you really want to talk about back in the day? How long ago was that?
I'm just saying. And then when he was you're bringing up Odell. I didn't bring up Odell. You're bringing up Odell.
No. Oh, okay, Von Miller. Hey, when the last time Von Miller was
Von Miller is a presence no matter what.
Come on, man. But when? What year?
Okay, that's the thing with defensive ends. With defensive ends, they don't show up on the stat sheet. Listen, that don't show up on a QB pressure is doing plenty.
When has he gets pressure? That was 3 years ago. He didn't play last year.
Did you watch any of the Broncos games this season whenever they started off hot? Did you watch any of that?
Hold on. Did he not get hurt?
He got hurt like week 7.
Is he not hurt?
He's not 100% right now.
What about the year before?
No, he's injury prone. I'm not going to sit here and say he's not.
So How many games we got left? He got 7 more games.
Okay.
Again, we can go back and forth. You could put your hand in the hat and say, "Hey, I like the Rams." They have they have to stay healthy because Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp has been injured. Von Miller has been injured. OBJ has been injured.
All right, are you done?
The
Bucs secondary is injured. Tom Brady's 80,000 years old. You can't keep a running back. Your receivers are injury prone.
Hold on, last time I checked, they signed all 22 players back.
I said you can't. Well, you can't keep on. I mean, healthy. That's what I mean.
You can't say
Mike Evans is injury prone. Chris Evans. Chris Godwin is injury prone. Antonio Brown's injury prone. Gronk can't stay healthy for nothing. Secondary's hurt. Defensive line's mediocre at best. Linebackers are playing they're not playing like they should be.
So, Landon, can I ask you this, and I'll be done with it?
All right, come on.
When it's all said and done, you trust Matthew Stafford over Tom Brady? Yes or no?
In the situation, yes.
No, yes or no?
They're in.
Yes. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, that's what I love about football. Nope. That's it.
All right.
I got to say one more thing.
Hey, no. The beautiful thing about football is what? We got 3 more months. And when it's 3 months, you know what's gonna happen? Landon, I'm gonna be like this. So what about Matthew Stafford?
When the Rams, when the Los Angeles Rams win the Super Bowl, I'll be right here. I'll be right here listening to your excuses.
Let me add something here with that.
All right, Ray's got the last word on this. Go ahead, Ray.
Matthew Stafford in Detroit didn't play in a system that was comfortable for him. He's now playing in a system that is more comfortable for him, and look what he has done. And I mean, if you look, but look, you're talking about the playoffs. I understand. I got his completion record. He played 3 games in the playoffs with Detroit. He's 74 in 117 passes, 63.2, 908 yards. But he also has been sacked 6 times in the playoffs. That team? So
facts.
All right, go ahead, Coach. You want to ask him a question? Go ahead.
No, it's okay. First off, they changed the system until he went past Happy. They went past Happy, and he started throwing those picks. So they went back to what McVay does. But it's all good. We will see. Just like Tampa Bay lost. I told you what happened. They lost, injuries, and they make stupid penalties. Defense got to get off the field at the end of the day. They didn't. Tom Brady threw 2 picks. It was in behind.
How come the Buccaneers injuries are a crutch, but the Rams aren't?
It's not a crutch. No, it's not a crutch.
You're totally blaming on the loss on penalties.
No. I said
not penalties, injuries. Excuse me.
I know I didn't. I said injuries is killing them, but the secondary, the defense is banged up. Defense is banged up, and they made stupid penalties. But at the end of the day, guess what? It's not an excuse because at the beginning, what did I say? We lost, and we're gonna lose. Look at me. We will lose 2 more games before the year's over with. 2 more, and
next
you know what? We're gonna lose 2 more games. I'm calling it. And guess what? We're still gonna make the playoffs. We're gonna look across that field. We're gonna see the Rams, and we're gonna see all of a sudden if Matt Stafford gets sacked. Oh my God! Now it's not his fault.
I'll be back on Bring It playoffs whenever the Rams beat the Buccaneers by 10+. All right. I'll be here for that.
Okay. All right. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. We could debate this stuff all night. There's 2 more topics I want to talk about from this past weekend, and I want to talk about something else. The first thing is I don't know if any of you guys saw this, but there was an interception yesterday in the Denver-Philadelphia game that Bridgewater threw. And basically, when the player was returning the interception, it was kind of near Teddy, and Teddy kind of just stepped aside and said, I'm not going to make this tackle. He's been getting killed in the press today, but with his injury history, I kind of don't blame him. I know you got to go full out when you throw an interception, but, he didn't want to get laid out by a defensive player. So I'll start with you, Landon. I mean, do you think Bridgewater he said he made a career, a self-decision, a career decision. You think he's in the right, or no matter what, you got to go after the ball player?
I didn't see what the score was when this happened, but I know that game wasn't really competitive, right? It was it decided by like the 3rd quarter?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't watch that game, but I've seen memes about it all day long. You know what I mean? So, and I agree with Teddy Bridgewater. You do not want to get hurt. Don't go, especially if the score was a blowout, especially, that even just adds more reason to not go after the ball. But, man, you don't want to get your quarterback hurt. And I think he made the right decision.
All right, Coach, what about you?
I think he should have tried to make the tackle, at least attempt. Because one thing about it is, it's not. That's a selfishness.
Mhm.
When you look at it as a coach, you look at it, especially as a player, like, because they're still in the hunt to make the playoffs. Like I said, I didn't watch the game. I just saw highlights, so I didn't know what was the score of the game at the time of him doing it. But you like stuff like that. Like, even if you see it all the time, when you see somebody run the reverse, or they back and come back towards the quarterback at least get in front of somebody for a block. They say, "Oh, look at him helping out the team," instead of running out the way. I think because at the end of the day, we're in this thing together, no matter what. And sometimes you got to go make a play. Even though now you look at it, Teddy's like, okay, you're on a 1-year contract, so you're trying to be selfish and save yourself.
Facts.
All right. What about you, Ray? What do you think about this?
Let me give you an update right now. 49ers just intercepted the ball. Now they're winning 13-0 over the Rams right now.
Oh, that's 2 picks. That's 2 picks. That's 2. Look, uno, dos.
I just want to give you that. But anyway, we're talking about that.
Come on, Ray. Come on now, Ray. Come on now, Ray.
I'm just saying what
you
I
got to say that now. Come on now, Ray.
But anyway, talk about that. I'm with Coach. I think he should have gone to make the tackle because you're a football player in the long run. I don't care what position you are. If you throw that interception, you got to make a tone for that interception. You let it, even if you whiff, that's good. But he didn't even try to make an attempt. That's just selfishness about football players. I played football in high school, and I tell you what my coach used to tell me: if you don't put out 100%, you don't play the next game. And if our quarterback didn't go out there and try to make a tackle, he would never play the next game. And my coach, when I was growing up, that's what his philosophy was. He didn't care. If you throw a pick, you better go out there trying to chase that man down and get that ball back. So to me, as you're a football player first. You know, worry about injuries later. Worry about what your self-assessment is. You got to put your livelihood in for the team. If you throw that pick, you better go out there and try to chase that man down.
I wanted Matt Stafford chased him down on this one.
Hey, keep talking. Hey, keep talking.
He got, hey, look, Coach, good. The defensive linemen and linebackers are looking for the quarterback to put them on the butts when they're trying to after they intercepted the ball.
Right, yeah. Exactly. All right, let's talk about one more game yesterday. The return of Cam Newton. Newton came back yesterday, signed a couple days before Sunday, comes back, throws a touchdown pass, runs for a touchdown, screams in the camera, "I'm back." And yes, Cam was back, and I would say P.J. Walker's stint as a starting quarterback is one and done, as they say, because that's Cam Newton's job at this point. So just Ray's nodding his head. All right, Ray, let's go to you. What do you think? You got to look at Walker. Walker played most of the game, and I like the strategy what they did. They let Walker carry him from the 20-yard line on their own 20 to the other team's 20, and then they let Cam Newton go from the 20 on in. That's what Cam Newton's effective because he can run the ball and he can throw a little 20-yard pass that it's not going to be, he's more accurate at a 20-yard pass than he's on deep bomb. And if you look at when he came in, he ran one for a touchdown and he threw one for a touchdown. When he first came in, so that right there gave him 14 points right there. And I think that's what they're going to try to use Cam Newton with. And I think Cam Newton agreed with it to do that. And I think Walker's going to start, and he'll move the ball from the 20 to the 20 and let Cam Newton come in and be the red zone quarterback. It's an interesting an actual dual quarterback system. But even with the money they're paying him, I mean, you saw the contract he signed. Well,
they were trying to bring him back. They were trying to bring him back anyway because once he decides he's going to give it up, they were going to bring him back anyway, and he's going to retire as a Carolina Panther. That was already set up when they actually let him go the first time. And I think but look, an interesting story with this is Tapper is paying him for when he left. Now they're paying him again when he came back. Now they're paying his back, the one they got rid of. They're paying him. Now he's paying 3 different quarterbacks. He's paying 4 quarterbacks right there, and paying Cam Newton twice right now.
Not a bad gig. Coach, can a 2-quarterback system work in the NFL? I mean, truly work? I mean, I know Sean Payton sort of did it with Taysom Hill and Drew Brees, but it looks like that this is going to be a true 2-quarterback system. I mean, can it work in this league?
Well, that was what we talked about yesterday on Touchdown Crew, that Cam doesn't fit Brady's offense. And what I mean by Brady, I'm not talking about Tom Brady. I'm talking about the OC.
Josh
OC,
McDaniels.
no, Brady for
The
the
offensive coordinator for Carolina.
Oh, right. Oh, Joe Brady,
Joe Brady, yeah.
the former LSU coordinator, right? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he doesn't fit what Cam does. Cam is he's a deep ball, and I run with the quarterback, and I run left, run right. Now, when you get him inside the 20, that's where he works his best. If you see, that's where he's good at. So I think it can work because the other quarterback, he can get you down there, but he can't get it in because he doesn't have that. He's not a dual threat.
No.
So I think having him, it opens up everything because you at least have to keep one more guy on Cam Newton. You at least have to have a spy on him. Like you and even your pass rush, they just can't rush up the field. So you can't really drop in the zone. So I think they could do it, especially in the goal line. I think that's because that's what Cam Newton is right now.
Right. So it's almost like having a second running back in there. I mean, that's how Cam's always been, a second running back. But yeah, definitely at this point. I mean, and and Ray, what was that comment someone put up about his foot? Something about who put that? John, our friend John Suggs, who always has wonderful comments on all our shows. Dude, going to be crying about his foot by week 13. See, it's an interesting take because he has had foot problems. He did have shoulder problems, but I'm kind of leaning with Ray and Coach on this as far as him being basically a red zone quarterback. Now, Landon, you basically grown up watching Cam Newton's whole career. You're an Alabama fan. You rooted against him in the SEC. Yeah. So but I mean. Do you think, as a young up-and-comer in this business, that this two-quarterback system can work, or egos? Think Cam Newton's ego, because we all know he's got an ego. He's, you see the way he dresses at the press conference, see the way he carries himself. Is that going to get in the way of the system, or is he just going to want to, try to win?
Man, a two-quarterback system. Man, listen, I think Cam Newton is a great red zone quarterback. I think he's always going to be a threat in the red zone. Because he can use his feet, he can throw the ball. He's phenomenal. Is it gonna work in the NFL? I don't think so with Cam's ego, and I'm glad you brought that up because I really didn't even think about that until just now. But he's taking first team reps this week. He's gonna take these first team reps, and he's gonna ball out because it's Cam Newton. Okay, he's gonna ball out, and he's gonna get this ego, and he's gonna be all super Cam's back. You know what I'm saying? I think maybe it works next week, and then that ship is gonna sink very fast. I think Cam's gonna want more snaps in the game. He's gonna want to be in more. He's gonna want to go back to how he was before. And I think especially if the Panthers start losing with this system, it's gonna get a lot worse. Only time will tell because Cam Newton is such an A-ball, man. Like you don't know what he's gonna do. He can come out here and be a team player one day and cancer in the locker room the next. You really don't know. If I had to say right now, it's not going to work, but you never know. It could. No. It's very possible.
No, definitely a good point. And next week he has the Ron Rivera revenge game because Carolina's playing Washington next week, and that should be interesting because Rivera wanted no part of him when he was in Washington when Cam Newton was available. So that's going to be a definitely interesting game to watch. All right, so we're basically at the midpoint in the season. I mean, the midpoint was last week. This week, some teams have played 8 games, some teams have played 9, some teams, it's just hard to tell where the middle is with the 17-game season. But let's call right now the middle of the season. So at this point, I want you to just kind of tell me, who are your top 5 true Super Bowl contenders at this point? Because it's every week we're like, oh, it's this team, it's this team, it's this team, but. If there's 5 teams that at this point you think can win the whole thing, I want you to give me that. So, Ray, let's go to you first.
Well, you got to throw Tampa out there. Tampa's going to be on top of the list, everybody's list, because you got one of the greatest quarterbacks in Tom Brady. I mean, he's going to go. You got to go through Tampa. You're going to have to go with a dog fight. He's gonna give it to you, and somehow, in some way, if his team is down, he finds a way to bring him back. I seen him do it to the Carolina Panthers when they were in the Super Bowl with, New England. You can't count Tom Brady out. Still, the question is still out for the Rams right now because right now we're seeing if a team's got a good defense like the 49ers does, is putting the clamps on the Rams' offensive side. So, I think the Rams could if they had a chance. But like I said, they're still young and they still got to get all the chemistry down together. And I mean, Matthew Stafford being there for the first time in in a long time, have this type of a team, it's going to take them a year, maybe 2 years to get some more pieces around them. I don't think they're our top 10. I think they could make it to the NFC championship game, and part of Tampa Bay will win that game because you can't count out the GOAT, and stuff like that. So that's one. Dallas has a chance, but then again, you got to watch with Dallas because sometimes Dallas play great games in one game and then have a letdown the next game. So I know Tony don't want to hear that, but still, it's just an honest opinion. But they have a chance with all the weapons they got. They started putting consistent games together and not having this one. But then again, the injuries with Prescott and all that too. You got to worry about injuries. So that's three right there. And then if you go away from them, it's your pick of the barrel for 4 and 5 spot. Because I think right now the three teams in the NFC are right there. And then if you want to take 2 out of the AFC, you got to look at New England is starting to come around now. So, they could make it the AFC is pretty easy. A lot of teams are battling for that. You got Kansas City trying to battle back into the playoff contentions. You got KC can do it, but if KC goes back up against Tampa again, you're gonna see the same old thing, and you're gonna. I listened to that Super Bowl, and that. So I have KC as my number 4, and Tennessee maybe number 5.
All right, cool. All right, Coach. What about you? What 5 teams right now would you say have the chance to win the Super Bowl?
My top 3, there's not even no order. They still both have a chance because they all fit well playing against each other. We'll go Rams.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go Tennessee. I go Tampa Bay for sure. Now I think the other 2 teams, I really don't have 5. I throw KC. I'm gonna throw KC in because one thing about it is I know everybody's gonna say, "Well, look, the defense is this, the defense is that." Man, it's a different ball game when you come February. It's come to playoffs, and on top of that, what a lot of people don't realize, what you've done at the beginning of the season, like people got film on you now. So like all these big games, and that was the thing I was trying to say about even the Rams. People got film on you now, so we kind of your tendencies. And that's one of the things that a lot of teams. So I really just got 4. That's it. Because if I say I can say the Cowboys, but the Cowboys can't. They don't fit. The matchups don't match well against the Rams nor the other Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
So and then you say the Ravens, they can't throw the ball. Right. So they're going to be done. I'm not sold on Josh Allen. I said that from the beginning of the season. I have never been sold on Josh Allen.
Right.
He hasn't showed me nothing. Aaron Rodgers is good, but I don't expect him to throw the 30, 40 yards. The run game is not going to work against the Rams. The run game is not going to work against the Bucks. So you're going to have to throw the ball. And I don't see him making the plays because he's known to choke in the playoffs. Right. Who else? That's it. Chargers is weak, so they can't stop the run. They soft.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings showed that we're gonna be physical with you.
Right.
So it's just all these teams they have good, but it's just because of who they played. But when you really come down to it, it's the Rams when healthy, Tampa Bay, Kansas City, and the Titans. Titans, they're doing their thing, and guess what? Defense is gonna get healthy, and if that man come back, because the more games they win, guess what? The more rest he can get.
Exactly. Tennessee is living proof of next man up because their backup running back has been, just playing out.
Hey, AP's playing good too.
Yeah, exactly. They're definitely playing well. Tannehill's that system, whatever system they're running for Tannehill, is built for his skill set. So definitely, I wouldn't underestimate Tennessee. They're definitely my top 5. But let's go to you, Landon, first before I reveal mine.
No order really. I've got a bunch of teams jotted down here. I think I'm gonna go LA, the Rams. I'm gonna go Tampa. I like what he said about Dallas because you can't really say Dallas just yet. So I'm gonna throw in Green Bay. there. I'm gonna throw in Buffalo. I like Buffalo. I like Buffalo. I like Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can say this.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead. Yeah. What's up?
And I'm just curious. Why do you like Josh Allen?
I like
what,
Josh Allen.
'cause what game has he shown that he took over a game?
Well, I mean, this past week, sure, he played the Jets. They're the dumpster fire, but he shows that he can roll out of the pocket and he can throw the ball 50 yards on the field. And I'm high on Josh Allen. Last, in the playoffs last year, he played really well. Sure, he didn't play good in the conference championship. I should have clarified that. I saw your face.
No, I'm just listening.
So, but I'm high on Josh Allen. I like Josh Allen. I like that offense. So I'm gonna put him in there, and then see, this is where I gotta pick, right? Because I got my team in there. I got Cincinnati chilling. They're on my list, but they're not top 5. I think I'm gonna have to go Titans. I like how the Titans are playing.
Right.
So you mean to tell me you like Buffalo over the Titans,
Yes.
even though they beat the Titans? I mean,
Yes.
even though the Titans beat Buffalo?
Yes.
Okay.
Even the Jaguars beat Buffalo.
That's fine. The Washington football team beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so
Exactly.
we can go there. We can go there.
No.
Hey,
Let's not do that.
Hey, how about
We can go
this?
there. We can go there.
How about this? Josh Allen threw to Josh Allen for the Jaguars.
That's
Picked
fine.
him right off.
That's
Hey,
fine.
hey,
Tom
you
Brady threw
can't-
302 interceptions in the first quarter, so
Can I ask you a question? You can name 5 players for the Washington football team. You can't name 5 players off the Jaguars.
you want to bet? You want to bet?
All right.
Trevor Lawrence, James Robinson, Laviska Shenault, DJ Chark, and Josh Allen. There's 5.
we have a Jaguar season ticket holder right here, so we know that. All right.
Praying for you, Ray.
My top 5 is pretty. I definitely like what Tennessee's doing. Ricky Smith put up. Could you repost that? What Ricky Smith said there? He had a good comment about Tennessee. Yeah, old school football, run the ball, win the line of scrimmage, defend every blade of grass. Definitely, Mike Vrabel is definitely coaching off the chain right now. So I like Tennessee. I like Green Bay's chances. I really do. I think they play in an interesting, an interesting brand of football,
Respect,
and
Cookie,
I just like what they're doing over there. You got to put Tampa in. You can't doubt Brady. I don't know. Something gives me a vibe about Kansas City. Might have figured it out. Might make a run. So I'm going to put Kansas City up there as my 4th. And the 5th team's kind of a wild card because it could be Buffalo might have a chance, but another thing that's something telling me watch the Patriots. The Patriots might make some noise.
Down. Yeah.
Patriots might make some noise.
Hey.
I mean, I know they're young, and I know
from
Mac Jones is
Tuscaloosa.
playing well, but yeah, I mean, Patriots might make a run, so you never know. All right, we're almost at that time. We're at the end of the show, so it's time for our last chance to bring it. This has been a great show, great back and forth. I'll say that afterwards. So let's go give our last take. So Landon, since you're going to be guest hosting for me next week, you get the first chance, your last chance to bring it.
So what is this? A hot take? I just give a
Yeah,
hot
just
take?
a hot take on anything.
Okay.
Doesn't even have to be doesn't have to be sports. Could be anything. But
Let's see. Hot take. The New England Patriots will be in the AFC Championship game. There's my hot take.
okay. Interesting.
There you go.
I love coaches' faces.
Listen, this boy is on my head for some reason, and I can't tell. I think it's because I disrespected that boy's Buccaneers, but it's all facts. He cannot argue. It's all facts. It's all facts. It's all facts, bro. It's all facts. Listen, I'm gonna hush. It's all facts. It's been fun.
I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to watch you guys next week. It's gonna be great. All right, Ray, what's your final take of the night?
Well, we didn't get to the John Gruden story. I wanted
Right.
to get into that, but we didn't get to it. But I don't believe in what he said. You guys don't take that out of context. But one context I've read over some of these statements and stuff on this thing. Only that one email out of 650,000 emails was leaked out.
Right.
That one email. And you saying if it's despite by anger or none? No, he has actually a right to do it because this email that was leaked out was not written to an NFL. Anything about football. It was written to a Wall Street Journal. It was written to the New York Times. And it was nothing about football related and stuff like that. The NFL leaked this out to put pressure on to get him out of the NFL, basically, period. And, I don't believe in what he said. I don't believe that email. I don't like the way he stated it. I'm not saying that, but the fact is, why was that one email leaked out of 650,000 emails that was collected.
Right. Well, yeah. So I think it was a witch hunt. Basically, what you're saying it was basically a witch hunt to try to get Gruden out. I definitely believe that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. But
how can you single that out? So yeah, we'll try to. We'll see what happens with the Gruden story this week. We'll try to get to it next week for sure. All right, Coach, what you got? Last take of the night.
I was going to say the same thing about Gruden. Gruden was smart. He released it Friday afternoon. You know, all the NFL is done talking. All the sports channels is not talking about it. Then you had college football, and then you had the NFL. They're going to pay him because it's going to be hush money because he knows a lot. So no one's going to really bring up the whole Gruden thing. That's why he released it on a Friday because you still, even tonight, right now, everybody's conversation is about OBJ. Right. Then afterwards, on Tuesday morning, we're going to talk about OBJ. Then you're going to talk about all the rounds for real and so on and so on, and who's sick, who got COVID, Green Bay. So he did it smart. They're going to slide. NFL going to write him a check, and he's going to do a podcast or something, and he'll be fine a year from now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, another interesting story about Gruden came out too. LSU sent a private jet to Las Vegas to pick him up for a job interview for the LSU.
Serious?
Ooh. John Gruden in the SEC. That would be very interesting. Wow.
No, if John Gruden goes to LSU won't get not a damn recruit.
Yeah.
What about USC? What if he took the USC job?
No, John Gruden. Right now, his name is tainted because you got
that's fine.
You got all of because what you got to realize about Gruden, he never said I'm sorry or anything.
Right.
Like he just said I'm not gonna talk about it. So a lot of people are like, man, I'm not gonna be with this dude like that.
Right. Exactly. Well, you know he's getting paid from the Raiders still, so I'm sure they figured something out. So yeah.
Oh, he's gonna get paid because I promise you, because you can't be in that circle. Like him and the Raiders owners were like they were like this at the beginning. So he knows a lot of dirt on a lot of people. So instead they're gonna write that check so he can shut up.
You definitely did.
He's gonna sign that little paper where he can't leak or saying how much you got and this and that. He's gonna be fine. Right,
definitely. All right, my quick hot take for the night it's a college football take that I think when it's all said and done, enough teams are going to lose that the committee is going to be forced to take Cincinnati into the playoffs because there's going to be enough teams that are going to lose. They're going to move down in the poll, and Cincinnati is going to be sitting there, and they're going to be like, you know what? We got to put them in. So my take is I think Cincinnati will end up in the final college football playoff. I don't know who else is going to end up. Well, and Georgia will be there because no one's beating Georgia. Alabama's not. Sorry, Landon. Alabama's not beating Georgia.
It's okay. I promise.
No way.
It's okay.
No way. It's not happening. It's not happening. All right, cool. Everybody, this has been an amazing show. Thank you all so much for watching. Everyone tune in next week. Landon's going to be filling in for me as host. He's going to kick ass, do a great job. Tune in next for Real Talk. They've got Kelsey Nicole Nelson on. Amazing journalists out of DC. It's going to be a great episode, and just stay tuned to the network all week. Great stuff going on. Go to the website. We got merch. We got all sorts of stuff happening. Tune into the YouTube channel. Subscribe. Ring the bell. Tell your friends. Pass the word around, and we will see everybody next week. Peace.
Peace out.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.